The most powerful seat on earth is empty. Countries are watching. Billions of people are waiting. Cameras are rolling. And 40 grown adults in suits are sitting in a giant pool, cheeks puffed out, slowly turning the color of a fire hydrant. One guy is already crying through his nose. Another one just accidentally blew a bubble. And somewhere in the back, an old man who definitely lied on his application is making sounds that should not be medically possible. And this is how we decide who runs the world now. Wait, actually think about this for a second. Not as a joke, as a legitimate replacement for what we have right now. Because here is the wild part. The system we are currently using to pick leaders, the one involving billions of dollars, decades of networking, fake smiles at county fairs, and the ability to not look weird on television? That system has given us some of the most spectacular disasters in human history. So maybe the pool idea is not as crazy as you think. Maybe it is actually crazier in a way that accidentally makes more sense. For real bro here, where we say what no one else will. And before we go any further, I need you to understand something. This video is not actually about holding your breath, not even close. By the end of this, you are going to realize we have been living inside the wrong competition this entire time, and the scariest part is that the people winning, they are not even aware there is a game. Ask. Part 1. The world's most impressive resume is currently just oxygen deprivation. So, here is how it works in this new world. You want to be president, prime minister, supreme leader of anywhere? Forget the law degree. Forget the military service. Forget the 40 years of public policy experience. All you need is one very impressive pair of lungs and absolutely zero shame about wearing a swimsuit in front of your entire nation. The competition is straightforward. You get in the pool. The clock starts. Last person still underwater becomes the most powerful human on the planet. Simple, right? Except nothing about what would actually happen is simple. Because the moment you replace elections with a breath-holding contest, you do not just change how leaders are selected. You accidentally reveal everything wrong with how leaders were selected before. Stay with me here, because this is where it gets weird. The current system, the one we think is sophisticated and democratic and advanced, is basically already a breath-holding contest. Just a metaphorical one. Politicians spend years holding their breath through scandals, holding their breath through investigations, holding their breath through interviews where someone is clearly about to ask the one question they do not want to answer. The entire career of a modern politician is literally, how long can you maintain composure under conditions designed to make you crack? So what changes if we just make it physical? More than you think, and also a lot less than you think. And that contradiction, that is exactly the problem. Here is what nobody talks about. The kind of person who wins a breath-holding contest is not the strongest person. It is not the smartest person. It is not even the fittest person. It is the person most comfortable with discomfort. The person whose brain, when every instinct is screaming, "Stop," says "not yet." Which, if you think about it, is a genuinely terrifying qualification for someone who controls nuclear weapons. Because that same psychological profile, the one that says, "I will push past the point where normal people quit," is either the greatest quality a leader can have or the most dangerous. And you will not know which one it is until it is way too late. Part 2. The golden age of governance, and the one thing nobody mentions. Okay. So let us play this out optimistically. The world switches to the breath-holding system, and honestly, some things actually get better. Suddenly, money does not matter. You cannot buy bigger lungs. There is no super PAC that funds additional oxygen. A billionaire and a kid who grew up swimming in a river in Kenya have the exact same equipment walking into that pool. For the first time in human history, the starting line is genuinely equal. No fundraising dinners, no donors calling in favors. Just you, the water, and however long your body decides to cooperate. Campaign season? Gone. Replaced by training camp, which honestly sounds so much more entertaining. Imagine the coverage. Our correspondent is live at the National Aquatic Leadership Trials where the frontrunner just lost 17 seconds on his personal best after eating a large burrito at the debate last night. Political analysts now have underwater footage to review frame by frame. Late-night hosts are doing breathing tutorials. The whole country is suddenly invested in pulmonology. And here is the thing that actually makes sense. Physical endurance, real physical endurance, correlates with some genuinely useful leadership qualities. Discipline. Delayed gratification, the ability to stay calm while your body is telling you to panic. These are not nothing. These are actually things we want in the person making decisions during a crisis. But quietly, underneath all the excitement, the first problem has already arrived. And it is so obvious that nobody notices it until it is everywhere. The people who get good at holding their breath, they are not spending their time learning how economies work. They are not in rooms negotiating treaties. They are not reading briefings about agricultural supply chains. They are in pools at 5 a.m., training their diaphragm. Which means the moment your new leader gets out of the water and sits down at the desk, they are the most oxygen-efficient person alive and they have absolutely no idea what they are supposed to do next. You have selected for the ability to survive without breathing. You have selected for everything except governing. Part 3. The part where it stops being funny and starts being uncomfortably familiar. Here is where I need you to slow down with me because this is the part of the video that is going to stick with you. The breath-holding system has a flaw. A specific, structural, terrifying flaw. And the flaw is this: the skill required to win the competition has nothing to do with the skill required to do the job. And before you feel too smug about that, I need you to sit with the fact that you are currently living in a world where that exact same flaw already exists. We just built a much more elaborate system to hide it. Elections, the real ones, do not select for governing ability. They select for the ability to win elections, which is a completely different skill set. Winning an election requires charisma, fundraising, message discipline, the ability to look trustworthy on camera, and the stamina to shake hands with strangers for 18 months without having a breakdown. Governing requires patience, institutional knowledge, the ability to build consensus among people who despise each other, and the willingness to make unpopular decisions that will probably not pay off until after you are gone. These two things barely overlap. And we have organized our entire civilization around the assumption that they do. So now here is the uncomfortable part. In a world where leaders are chosen by breath-holding, everyone would laugh at the absurdity. You are selecting for completely the wrong thing. The winner has no relevant skills. And they would be right, but they would be saying it from inside a system that is doing the exact same thing with extra steps and a much bigger budget. The breath-holding competition is stupid, but at least it is honestly stupid. You can see exactly what it is measuring, and exactly why it does not translate. The current system is stupid in a way that requires 3 political science degrees and a 20-year career to even start to explain. And by the time you finish explaining it, everyone has stopped listening. Which is somehow worse. Part 4. The moment everyone realizes the real competition was never in the pool. Okay, we need to talk about what happened 6 months into the breath-holding era. The first leader selected this way, the champion, the person whose lungs defeated 43 other pairs of lungs, is now sitting in the big chair, and they are doing the thing all new leaders do. They are figuring out who actually runs things. And here is the revelation that would hit everyone at once. The person in the chair was never the one running things. They were never the one who decided policy. They were the face, the symbol, the person who stood in front of cameras and absorbed the blame, and occasionally got credit for decisions made by people whose names most voters could not spell. So the breath-holding champion sits down, and the actual machinery of governance, the advisors, the career bureaucrats, the institutional knowledge holders, the people who have been in these rooms for 30 years regardless of who wins what, all of them keep doing exactly what they were doing before. Because they always do. The champion's lungs are irrelevant now. They have served their purpose, they got this person into the building, and now the building runs itself the way it always has. And this is the part that should make you feel something uncomfortable, because the same thing happens in real elections. The person who wins is often the last person to understand how much of what they promised is not actually in their power to deliver. The machinery exists before them, it will exist after them. They are, in a very real way, the last person to find out how the place they just won actually operates. The winner of the breath-holding competition at least has no illusions. They know they got there by accident of biology. The winner of a real election has been told for 2 years that they are uniquely qualified to transform everything. Which one is going to be more dangerous when reality arrives? There is one final truth here that nobody wants to say out loud. Part 5. The thing the pool was actually chesting the whole time. Alright. Here is the part of the video that I've been building towards since the first second you click. The breath-holding competition, if you actually ran it, would not select great leaders, we established that, but it would accidentally reveal something true that the current system works very hard to hide. Shh, here it is. The most dangerous thing about any system of selecting leaders is not who it picks, it is what it teaches everyone else to want. The current system, over decades, has taught people to want leaders who perform confidence rather than feel uncertainty, leaders who project certainty rather than admit complexity, leaders who sound decisive rather than think carefully, because those are the qualities that win elections. And so those are the qualities we learn to look for. A breath-holding competition would be ridiculous, but it would at least be honest about what it was. You go in. You last the longest. You win. There is no pretending the contest measures something it does not measure. Real elections pretend. They pretend the contest measures wisdom. They pretend it measures vision. They pretend it measures fitness for office. And because we believe the pretense, we feel betrayed when the winner turns out to be human. We feel cheated when the person who was great at winning is not automatically great at governing, as if we did not design the system that way ourselves. Here is the theory that ties everything together. Leadership selection, in every system humans have ever built, has never primarily been about finding the best leader. It has always been about creating a story that makes the population comfortable with whoever ends up in charge. Breath-holding is ridiculous, but it is a clean story. Bloodline inheritance is ridiculous, but it is a clean story. Elections are complicated, but they tell a story about consent and participation that makes the outcome feel legitimate. The leader is almost secondary. The story is the point. And the moment you understand that, you realize something genuinely unsettling. The question was never, what if leaders were chosen by breath-holding? The question was always, what story are we telling ourselves about why the people in charge deserve to be there? And whether the answer is, they held their breath the longest, or they got the most votes, or they were born into the right family. The story does the same job. It makes everyone else feel okay about not being in the room, which means the real competition, the one that actually matters, has never been in the pool. It has never been on the debate stage. It has been in the story, and whoever controls the story controls everything. The lungs were just a distraction. Damn. The pool was smarter than the ballot box the whole time. Not because it was a better system, because it was at least honest about being a game. So now I want to know what you think. Drop it in the comments because I am genuinely asking. If you could redesign the entire thing from scratch, what would the competition actually be? Because hold your breath is ridiculous, but give the longest speech is what we have now, and I am not convinced that is better. And if some part of this video made you think, wait, this channel might actually be onto something, well, you could subscribe. Or you could keep electing people based on who looks most comfortable in a factory hard hat. Your lungs. Your choice.
That's all for this adventure, bros. Don't forget to subscribe.